Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? How are you doing? Happy Monday. A little bit different camera angle here. I don't have my monitors pressed in. Just trying it out, see how I like it. And I've got the mic a little bit further out, but this mic picks up things so well and I speak loudly enough. I think it's going to be fine. So let me know how it's working for you guys. But good to see you. I wanted to do something a little different for today's stream. And I wanted to highlight some of my favorite resources in order to just get a better bearing on, what I'm really utilizing a lot and what I find a lot of value in as I work through my library. So, a little bit different stream than my typical sermon prep, but hopefully you'll enjoy it and get something out of it. So, yeah, that's my approach today. As always, happy to just kind of chat, hang out, all that good stuff. But I wanted to start off with the Bibles. And I think my approach to Bibles are a little bit different than most. I I like all the Bible translations as long as you know what you're getting, right? So a lot of people, I think, in, you know, evangelical circles, and certainly I've been here for a while, they want, a more literal translation, right? So you're talking ESV, NASB, Legacy Standard, Bibles like that. And I think those Bibles are fine, but I like to have a wide variety of translations. So I like to have some dynamic equivalents and some formal equivalents, right, as they're called. So, like, if you're to ask me my goal, maybe not goal, but my default is something like ESV plus NIV, right? But I could also do something like CSB plus NLT, right? Something like that. So there are a couple different ones I could go with. And to me, as long as you have like one good formal translation and one good dynamic translation, you're pretty good to go. Like if I look over here at my prioritized resources, I have ESV, NIV, LSB is there, right? So I could do LSB as another like formal equivalence, right? So LSV or B plus I'd even do the message, right? You can see, let's see, do I have it on here? I don't. Um the Bible for Everyone, new translation. Interesting. But you see what I mean? And again, as long as you know what you're getting, I like to have more than one type of translation, if that makes sense. Like I don't need all of the most formal equivalent ones first and foremost. Now, I would say I do like when they have a reverse interlinear. So I wonder if I can search for reverse interlinear in here. It doesn't look like it. Maybe it's all one word. No. Reverse interlinear explore. Describe the content function of each line of a reverse interlinear. This is pretty cool. So this teaches you how reverse interlinears work in general. But I want to know which ones have a reverse interlinear built into them, right? And I know there's a way I could find it, but again, that's my big thing is to have, one formal, one dynamic. This would probably be the setup I'd refer to most, ESV plus NIV, but I like the CSB, the NLT as well. These are just some of the certain ones that I reference more frequently. Let's look. Maybe I have the Bible for Everyone, new translation. I wonder if that's like a NT Wright collab with Scott McKnight or something. Bible Everyone. There's a reason I right here. It is NT Wright, John Goldengay. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's compare and contrast this one real quick. I'm already off track. What's up, Johnny? How are you? Pastor Tanner, do you remember the roast session we had? It's been a while. Remind me. Remind me. Tea's still hot, but I also got some ice water. I love me some ice water. All right, let's I want to turn on view. No. I'm still figuring these out since they changed where they go. I just want to turn on the verse chapter number. And I know how to do it, but I don't know the exact button. It might be here. No. I will find it. Believe you me. It's probably formatting. Yes, getting closer. You know what? It might not have chapter verse in that way. Some of them don't. Well, let's find the equivalent in our ESV. And if ESV doesn't have it, then we know, right? Oh, you can see the interlinears right here. That's cool. Okay, so if a version has an interlinear, it's embedded here. Page view? No. I don't remember this being so hard to find. Tools. Formatting. Come on, I gotta be close. Well, that's the thing. If I can't find it in... These are the visual filters. I just want the versification, all that type of stuff. I know if I clicked around in these menus more often, I'd know exactly where things are at, but it used to be in a different spot. What's up, Fuzz? Good to see you. Another bald Calvinist has arrived. Are you bald now? Is that what you're saying? Is this you telling me you've shaved your head? Congratulations. Welcome to the dark side. Oh, I see. I've been bald for a long time, Fuzz. You already knew that. Come on now. Yeah, I'm struggling here. Backbook markers. It's under markers. No, it's not. Man. I'm going to have to click every... Is this it? No, because this is the corresponding words. Oh, that's what they've done. They've broken it out into multiple menus. They're all under formatting now. I get it. Okay. Took me a while. I get it. Okay. Bible text formatting, chapter verse numbers. There we go. Footnote indicators, non-Bible text. Oh, that's the glorify the Son here. One verse per line. No. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Is it sympathetic? I'd probably have to link them. Okay, let's read a few verses of this and see what we think. All right, ESV. When Jesus had spoken these words, he lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that the Son may glorify you, since you have given him authority over all flesh to give eternal life to all whom you have given to him. And this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. Okay, let's read these. After Jesus had said this, he lifted up his eyes to heaven. Father, he said, the moment has come. Glorify your Son, so that your Son may glorify you. Do this in the same way as you did when you gave him authority over all flesh. Okay, that's a little different. So that he could give the life of God's coming age to everyone you gave him. Interesting. That's very different. And by the life of God's coming age, I mean this. Man, that's how they translate eternal life. This is more messagey. I'm going to be honest. And by the life of God's coming age, I mean this, that they should know you, the only true God, and Jesus the Messiah, the one you sent. Jesus the Messiah. So they translate Christ into Messiah. This is fascinating. Now I want to read the info on this one. Let's read it. Lots of interpretation there. Yeah, exactly. This is very dynamic equivalent. The Bible for everyone is the result of a passionate conviction that Scripture should be something that everyone can read, understand, and enjoy. Two world-renowned biblical scholars and communicators have therefore undertaken a tremendous task to draw together, revise, and supplement the translations that appear in the popular For Everyone commentaries, making a rounded, readable, and reliable version of the Bible that will prove helpful to people of all religious backgrounds at every stage of their lives. broken up in easy to read, bite-sized chunks and including helpful introductions to each biblical book, informative maps, and substantial glossary of keywords. Here is a new rendering of ancient wisdom that can be read like a novel, studied in sections, or used as an aid to daily devotion. That's very interesting. I don't like that there's no interlinear in it. Like you have no access to the base text, right? So under, is it formatting? Where do we find the interlinear here? Tools? View interlinear. So you can see the reverse interlinear options. But here, view, there's no interlinear. Parallel text, paged, locator bar, and then you can just zoom. So it's not being treated with the original languages. Fuzz, he doesn't like NT Wright. NT Wright is very, very stimulating. Let me put it that way. Arsenal of Grace, what is up? Good to see you. How are y'all? What are we learning today? So I'm going through resources, and I'm picking out some of my favorite resources in each category and just kind of reviewing them. So that's what it is, Arsenal. It's more of like a review of Bible books or commentaries or different things like that, right? Fuzz, those are oftentimes the most stimulating authors. Frank Russell, what is up? Good to see you. Hey, Pastor Tanner, any experience with accordance at all? I'm an avid Logos user, but met with a scholar who said accordance is the way to go because of better searches, but I'm still going to use Logos. I actually don't have much familiarity with accordance. I will say when accordance and Logos were kind of vying for things, to me, they went two different directions. And I might be wrong about this, and there's some overlap here. It's a Venn diagram of sorts. But to me, accordance went more like focused on the Bible, right? Yes, it has commentaries. Yes, it has supplemental books, but really they tried to really focus on the Bible itself. Whereas Logos to me went more like the digital library route. Like we have the Bible, there's lots of cool things you can do with it, but we're trying to incorporate your full library. And I prefer the latter, right? So that's why I went with that. And I have heard, if it's not accordance, I've heard like BibleWorks or other ones. To me, there are other softwares that have tried to just do Bible only. And for my needs, Logos does what I need in the Bible, and then I'm really happy to get a digital library along with it, which is really why I like Logos. Not the only reason, but one of the main reasons. But no, I haven't used accordance myself. I find it way more user-friendly and still really scholarly, but wondered your thoughts. I think that Logos is more scholarly if you're consulting other books and resources. It might be the case that something like accordance is better if you're just focusing on a single, just focusing on the Bible, right? Like if you're doing a lot of original language studies yourself, for example. That would be my guess. Did I see Logos is going to integrate AI? Yes, Fuzz, they have for 8 or 9 months now. I can show you the AI features if you're interested. Fuzz says, when I met Schreiner, he was gentle, but then flat out said NT has gone too far with his new perspective on Paul's stuff, and Schreiner likes the guy. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I haven't kept up with NT Wright for some time. I don't read much of his stuff. But, you know, obviously, I know he's contributed a lot to a variety of areas of study these days, and, you know, people probably like him more or less, depending on your particular bet, right? Alrighty. One of the best statements regarding NT Wright that I'd heard before was from who was it? Oh, Doug Wilson. Doug Wilson said something to the effect of NT Wright is really good in the Gospels and really confusing in Paul. That's how he put it. And I thought that was interesting. Oh, AI already in there. I'm going to have to check it out. I was thinking it'd be useful to have AI search your library. That's one of the things it does, right? So, yes, the search function is way more robust now. Here's your little AI star, right? If you have that little AI star, it tells you it's using AI. So if you wanted to search your library, you could say, I don't know. Let's do justification. By faith alone. And one of the things it does too is it'll grab so it searches your whole library, it grabs relevant resources, and then it does this synopsis. I love the synopsis function. It will take and summarize. So it's pulling from John Murray's Redemption Accomplished and Applied. It's pulling from contemporary evangelicals' perspective on Roman Catholicism. It's pulling from Evangelical Review of Theology, and it's pulling from R.C. Sproul, Essential Truths of the Christian Faith. And so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So wherever you see 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, it's pulling from those books and then summarizing their ideas, right? Justification by faith alone is a central doctrine in Protestant Christianity, particularly emphasized during the Reformation. According to this teaching, individuals are declared righteous before God solely through faith in Jesus Christ, not by their own works or merits. This concept is rooted in biblical passages such as Galatians 2:16, which states a person is justified by faith in Christ and not by works of the law. The doctrine emphasizes that faith is the prerequisite for justification, with God's justifying act following the believer's faith. Reformers like Martin Luther and John Calvin considered this doctrine fundamental to the gospel and Christian assurance of salvation. Luther described it as receiving an alien righteousness, a free gift of God's grace, rather than something earned. While this teaching asserts that faith alone justifies, it also acknowledges that true faith is not solitary, but is accompanied by love and good works, though these do not contribute to justification itself. The doctrine remains a point of theological distinction between Protestant and Roman Catholic understandings of salvation. I mean, that's a pretty good summary, right? And that's just using the Smart Search, typing justification by faith alone in the Smart Search bar, and then having these books in my library. It draws on the books in your library, right? And then I could go further, right? It pulls from, many different books. Justification by faith alone in R.C. Sproul. What is justification by faith alone? J.V. Fesco, right? Reformation and Revival books. Themalios, Donald McKim. Religious and Theological Abstracts, 10 Most Misunderstood Words in the Bible, Robert Wilkin, Justification. So you can see it's pretty cool how the Smart Search works. There's Beakey, Michael Reeves, Tim Chester, Table Talk Magazine, on and on and on. Puritan Reform Journal, Mark Jones, etc. So even pulled from commentaries. This is from Commentary on Romans. Anyway, there you go. Smart Search is a boss. So I think I got what I want in terms of Bibles. Now let's spend some time talking about commentaries. All right. Now, what I like in a commentary is I like a lot of bang for your buck, right? So I like when you are getting a commentary that either is cheap relative to what you're getting. So like I love the Tyndale commentary set, because relative to what you get, getting the whole set is relatively cheap in Logos. So I like those. I can't overlook the Exegetical Summary series, SIL's Exegetical Summaries are awesome to me because they reference other ones and they give you a good summary, right? Plus says, sweet, got to get my car tires rotated. All right, good luck. Thanks for swinging by. Good to see you. Arsenal, you goof. Let's go here as well. Let's see if I have highlighted other ones. Oh, I love the NIVAC series, the NIV application commentaries. Those are really good in general. I like the Preacher's Outline and Sermon Bible, but it's a little bit pricier. But they have really, really good outlines in there. What else? Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture. You could also maybe get by with there's an Ancient Christian Commentary Study Bible. So might look at that. Yeah, are there any other sets that I really like? Let's see, I've got Sermon Outline Bible on here. Oh, this is an older set by Nickel Robinson, and I actually, or M. Robertson Nickel, sorry. And I really like it because it's got summaries from different people, right? And to me, this is one of those that's older, and it's kind of like open source-ish. I don't know if it actually is, but I really like what it does because it pulls from a variety of authors. And that's something else I find. I like collations, right? Because I'm really trying to take some stuff with me into the pulpit, if that makes sense. So
I don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking
Sermon
about you.
Outline Bible. W. Robertson Nickel. Let's see. The other ones are like one-off commentaries I like. They're not necessarily full series. We might as well put study Bibles in here. Although, would they come up in another set? No. Let's do ESV Study Bible. Hello, Clyde. Good to see you. Welcome. I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for swinging by. I also like CSB Disciples Study Bible. And it's because this one has systematic theological categories that are pretty cool to reference. I have to put in the NET full notes translation. And if you guys don't know what I'm referencing here, I have a if you go to logos.com/Pastor Tanner, then you can check out some of my best buys in Logos. Or not best buys, but like favorite resources. So this is one of the things I'm referencing. The New Treasury of Scripture Knowledge is really important to me. Now, I think that's all for my commentaries here. Let's do a passage guide. And let's throw in, what am I preaching soon? I think John 17, 1-11. I might be wrong by this, but preaching something like this soon. And let's see what I put in my study Bibles here. Ancient Faith Study Bible. That's the one I was trying to reference here. So Ancient Faith Study Bible. Might be a little truncated. I do like this one. So to me, this one could be that or the CSB Study Bible. Probably don't need both. You know what's growing on me is the one edited by, it's an NIV one. NIV Grace and Truth is growing on me as well. It's not as robust as these ones, but it's often got really good summary thoughts in each section it treats. And they're often like the perfect length. I like the Word in Life. It's one of the few of its kind. I think I've been a hidden advocate for this resource for some time. It's got just really interesting stuff. This closer look section, consider this. I just like the Word in Life Study Bible for some reason. It's older. It's an older resource, but it reminds me of one of these study Bibles that just kind of grab your attention. Word and Life Study Bible. Yeah. And there's also a teacher's outline in Sermon Bible. This ACCS is really good. Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture. And again, it's similar to this, obviously covering different periods, but these are these collations. I really like these collations, right? It reminds me of the exegetical summaries as well. List of study Bibles. Yeah, New Treasury Scripture Knowledge is really important to me. Let's keep looking at study Bibles here. I don't think Thompson Chain Reference is available any longer. Spurgeon I found too truncated. I didn't mind the Spirit Life Filled, but it's not essential to me. These ones are ones I referenced, but I think they're surpassed in many ways. I like the Reformation Heritage, partially because of the questions in the chapters. But I'm wondering if you can't get that elsewhere these days. So like if you go to the Reformation Heritage here, at the end of each section, there are these questions, right? Ooh, this didn't come across very well. It just didn't come across in dark mode. That's a shame. But, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought there were, yeah, here they are. Thoughts for Personal Family Worship, Chapter 17. Boom, boom, boom. I think these are pretty good, the questions, but probably not worth it to get a full-blown recommendation from me. So probably pass on that. Open Bible. I remember liking this too. I don't want too many study Bibles, but I like having options. The Hour, All Flesh, Son of Perdition, Your Name, Annas. Yeah, this one isn't jumping out at me too much here. Oh, the NKJV is really good, and the Thomas Nelson. They're both really good. I might put this just under the ESV. NKJV Study Bible / Thomas Nelson Study Bible. They're the same study Bible, essentially. The NIV is good. Grace and Truth I like. It's probably my favorite. I wish I liked the Biblical Theology Study Bible more. I just don't. It's not as helpful as often as I want it to be. Yeah, just not as helpful as often as I want it to be. Not bad, though. NIV Bible Speaks Today. Ooh, I forgot about the new NIV Application Bible. This is new. I picked it up. I had to have it because I love the NIV Application Commentary set. So this is a study Bible created out of the NIV Application Commentary. So I need to put that in here. NIV Application Study Bible, essentially. That's a newer one. Let's see, what else? It's cool they got this one in Logos. This was our required, the Oxford Annotated was our required for school in, when I was taking, oh, what is it called? I forget what it's called. Core Humanities. When I was taking Core Humanities and we had to read the Bible for Core Humanities, that was a required one. I already noted the NET Bible notes. There's Nelson. The MacArthur Study Bible is really unique. I like how unique it is, especially for its category, but it's not my first reference most of the time. New Living Translation Study Bible. I remember this one being good, just not like my first reach. This also reminds me, I really do like Philip Comfort's New Testament Text and Translation Commentary. And I think Bruce Metzger does one as well, which would be fine for me, but this is just the one I reference most often and I'm most comfortable with. And we'll probably come back to this section, right? There's so much you could find in just commentaries alone, right? And there are many other categories, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people in Logos, all they're referencing is basically their Bible and their commentaries. Liturgy and Life Study Bible. I think I picked this one up recently too, and I haven't utilized it much. Yeah, I remember this when I picked it up. It's more Liturgy and Life Study Bible explores the questions and provides the answers for today's church. The indispensable guide includes essays from the top liturgical and biblical scholars on various subjects, flag passages that contain something of liturgical or personal prayer interest. Yeah, interesting. But these are the way it works. I'm still working out the way it works. I probably need to just read here in the beginning of it and see, because it'll probably tell you how to use the book. It's very recent. Cal Magic, good to see you. I'm partial to the ESV Study Bible as each book is commented on by a specialist of the book. That's pretty good, Cal Magic. It's definitely up there. I think I put the ESV Study Bible as my number one study Bible. There are a lot of good ones, though, for different reasons. Life Essentials, Life Principles. One of these had like video studies in them, I remember. They have links to videos. Yeah, it's this one, Life Essentials. Life Essentials by Gene Getz. And they're pretty nice. I like the videos in them too. That's pretty cool. And reflection and response questions. I don't know. The Life Essentials is pretty cool. Let me put it down as a possibility, because it does something a little different. It's good to see you, Cal Magic. How are you? I didn't know if I'd see you because I thought maybe you'd be on your trip. Is that coming up? Ooh, tea's finally cooling down. And now it's too cool. Never get it right. I'm going to go heat it up in the microwave. Be right back. All right, back. Now the tea's too hot, of course. But the hope is I can get it dialed in. Okay, now let's look. Life Principles Study Bible. I remember not liking this one as much. Yeah, very brief comments in the Life Principles Study Bible. I think this is Charles Stanley's. Yeah, I think it's meant to be brief on purpose, but I definitely liked the Life Essentials better. Let's look at Life Connections. And I've definitely added some since I'd done my study Bible view. Half a century ago, Zondervan published Manual. NIV Bible for Men, found it useful as a young man. Oh, but it's not in Logos, I'm guessing. NIV Manual. That's kind of it's kind of clever. No. That sounds cool to have like one specifically for you as depending on your situation in life, right? So these are apply questions, consider questions, worship questions. I mean, this is unique what this thing offers, the Life Connection Study Bible. CSB Life Connection Study Bible are a revised and updated version of the best-selling and renowned Serendipity Study Bible. The original Serendipity Study Bible is a culmination of 40 years of community building by Serendipity House publishers, which revolutionized small groups and personal study. See, I like the questions, and that might be good if you're like preaching or teaching through a section. So I'm going to add this one, Life Connection Study Bible. Is pretty good. And that's for, it's kind of similar to this one, Life Connections Study Bible. Man, there's so many good study Bibles out there, and to just have them all in Logos like this, insane. This is one I ended up using a lot when I first got saved, the King James. Each of these would be fine, but none of them are like particular. Faith Life Study Bible I love. That's got to be on the list. To me, it's in its own category. I'll put it here. Evidence Bible I used a lot. I wanted the ESV Systematic Theology Study Bible to be better. It's just not what I want. ESV Church History Study Bible. Let's look at this. Oh, so these are also collations, but they're from people. These are from like Puritans and things like that. I don't know what to do with these ones. So this is the study Bible equivalent of the Ancient Faith Study Bible, right? You have the ACCS commentary and then the Ancient Faith Life Study Bible, and then or Faith Study Bible, and then you have the RCS commentary and the ESV Church History Study Bible, right? Ugh, I'm torn. I'm torn on this one, guys. I'll put it down for now. But I find myself going back to the early church fathers more than I find myself going back to the reformers at this point. So reform commentary on scripture, and I'm going to just put these ones with their equivalents. I'm sorry, I'm just going to do it. So Ancient Faith goes there, and then Life Connection Study Bible. Or no, this one is ESV Church History. Lots of good study Bibles out there these days. Dake Annotated, like I said, CSB Disciples. I like the questions in it. Okay. Those are probably all my favorites from study Bibles, just based on variety and things like that. Now, single volume commentaries, or the ones that I put in the category of single volume. there's a lot here. I find myself going, I like the applied New Testament and Old Testament commentaries. I'm not sure it's a top one, though. The background commentaries. This one's the Bible Knowledge background commentary. And there's several good background commentaries. Oh. Cal Magic says, would love a discussion on how the Catholics and Protestants parse the church fathers, especially Augustine. Oh, man, what a question. What a question. Risen, hello, good to see you. Hello, I'm just hopping in. Are you reorganizing your collection or preparing for something? So I'm trying to put together kind of in my categories, if I would give like my best buys, right? What would some of my favorite resources be? You know, so I'm trying to think categorically. You know, if you look at the libraries, that Logos sells, you have Bibles, you have commentaries, they have dictionaries and encyclopedias, right? They have all these categories, you know, the theology dictionaries and encyclopedias. Old Testament studies, New Testament studies, general biblical studies, devotional and spiritual growth. And I'm just trying to think like what mine would be, if that makes sense. So commentaries are the ones that can take all your time. Whoa, John Much. Whoa, thanks. The $3 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, John. Wow, that's very, very thoughtful. You didn't have to do that. Do you like Luther collections? Absolutely, John. Yeah, it's good to be able to contribute when I can. Well, thank you so much. You did not have to do that, but much love. I appreciate you. Yeah, the Luther collections, absolutely. So there are several of Luther's, and either written by Luther or Luther himself, or written by Luther, or, you know, like works on Luther or talking about Luther. So one thing that I love is that you can get the collections of Luther's works in Logos and then search them, right? And to me, that's a huge one, because you can essentially, like, if you make a quick collection, you know, you can do something like this and make a collection of just Luther. And this is going to be messy. It has 997 books. You could probably do Luther's works and get better hits. Luther's works, boom, collections, Luther's works. And then you could search all of Luther's works. You could do it smart style or not. So I don't know. He has a famous quote about dung heap, right? Let's see if we can find it. You know, these sorts of things, being able to confine to a specific collection and then, you know, look up explicitly what it says is pretty powerful, right? And because you can, you know, confine it to this or go to another one, that's pretty sweet too, right? So Luther's works 47, Luther's works 48, and then also this is the annotated Luther. Oh, I love the annotated Luther set. I probably like that one maybe better than his works. The annotated Luther, and it's available in several of these ones. These are cool. If you check these out. The annotated Luther pastoral writings. I like annotated bibliographies and going into like collections because it can really give me a summarized thought on a particular author, a particular individual. So yeah, I like those. That's awesome because I didn't know how to look up information. Yeah, that's exactly how I would do it. Confined to Luther's works. Now I'm just in his works. Here I'm using the smart search. So I'm going to get more hits, but they might not be exactly the hit I'm looking for, right? So here's From Luther's Works, volume 47.
Because it begins by hearing Moses and the prophets. It begins by
on
submitting to the
Jews and
Word
their
of God.
lies. Oh, what does he say? In his Bible, Sebastian Munster relates that the malicious rabbi does not call the dear mother of Christ Maria, but Haria, a dung heap. And who knows what other villainy they may indulge in among themselves unknown to us, right? So there's that one. But I was looking for the one where like our righteousness is like a dung heap, right? And so there are, many ways you could go about searching for this. You can see these ones are particular focused on that, but you could also, if you didn't do the smart search, you could do the precise search and look only where parenthetically he uses that phrase, right? And then, all right, now I only got 4 hits. So anyway, lots of ways you could do it, but I love making the quick collections right up here. And you can get way better searches out of that. Yeah, thanks again, John. Appreciate you. Thanks for swinging by. Hey, Crazy Cries, good to see you. Welcome. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate you. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Cal Magic, just want an overview / approach to get me started. Is one more Alexandrian, the other one more Antioch in thinking? Yeah, so let's chat about this a little bit. So Cal Magic has asked the question about Augustine from a Protestant and a Roman Catholic perspective. And Augustine is one of those authors that both groups seem to like. I think the Protestants like him because a lot of what he says can tie in with Reformed theology, right? So, there are many people who say that a lot of Calvin's doctrines or Luther's doctrines are really just from Augustine, that when we're talking explicitly about, bondage of the will and different things like that, that really they're Augustinian in their perspective in terms of free will versus, God's sovereignty. And so a lot of Protestants really like Augustine from a Reformed theology perspective. That's the stuff they really like. But if you read Augustine, he also says many things that like a lot of the Roman Catholics like, because he tends to be more big C church at times. Like the City of God is, just this massive treatise that is talking, kind of comparing and contrasting God's kingdom and his people versus, the kingdom of man. And I'm not going to pretend to be any sort of scholar on that. His confessions are really nice from a Protestant perspective because they're so devotional in thought. And I think the Roman Catholics would like his confessions as well. So I think that's why you get the emphasis. I don't think it's an Alexandrian Antiochian thing. I think it's more the particular areas where they like to press him into service, if that makes sense. So that's kind of my broad take on why Protestants like Augustine, but also why Roman Catholics like Augustine, right? And then, of course, after Augustine, Thomas Aquinas is a figure that Roman Catholics heavily leaned into as well. John says, I praise God for you and the work you do. Thanks again for giving to God. Thank you so much, John. You didn't have to do that, and I appreciate that feedback. That's awesome. Thank you so much for all your love and support. That's great. Man, thanks for being here, everyone. Appreciate you guys. So hopefully that helps, Cal Magic. There's a lot more we could get into with that, but that's kind of my take, broadly speaking. And of course, I could do a lot more reading in Augustine. Many of his works, he has something for everyone. And then he also has some stuff that is like concerning for almost everyone, right? It's interesting to me that Augustine would gain such widespread adoption within, Christian churches of all stripes, it seems, because he's varied in his approach. That's how I take it, at least. Okay, cool. Let's get back into this. Oh, that tea is the perfect temperature. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's go ahead, and I was looking at individual commentaries, and I like the background commentaries. So, hey, Perk, good to see you. Welcome. Hey, Pastor, good afternoon. Hope you've been well. I've been fantastic. Thanks for swinging by. How are you? It's very good to see you. Cal Magic, I appreciate it. It's an area I want to explore sometime in the near future. Yeah, I could understand. I mean, you could get lost studying Augustine. We're actually going to have a special Augustine speaker to come out and speak to our church this Friday from Colorado Christian University. They're going to come out. Ian Clary. Ian Clary is going to come out and speak at our church this Friday, I believe, because he has some cool insight on Augustine for us. Okay, where were we at? We were looking at Passage Guide and single volume commentaries. I like Bible Knowledge Commentary is great. I need to kind of separate these out. So let's go full commentaries, and that'll be boom, 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 boom. And then we'll do collations. And that's going to be boom, 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 boom. This goes down there. Study Bibles. But they all kind of do different things. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. And this one's like text critical. Boom, boom, boom. This is not text critical. This is cross-reference. Boom. Okay, we're making progress. Now I want like background commentaries. And I find like cultural background commentaries to be very helpful. Perk says, doing well, watching stream as I study a bit. Are you doing a short stream today? I don't know how long I'll be. I definitely, these days I don't stream much past an hour and a half or 2 hours at most. And I've been going for a little bit here. We're at 54 minutes, but I feel like I'm on a roll. So I'll probably go another 45 minutes or so. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah. Yeah, glad you're doing well. Thanks for swinging by. So background, the Bible knowledge background commentaries are very good. I was very excited when these came out. Bible knowledge background commentaries. Those are good. And then let's make a single volume section. And the single volume commentaries are really nice because you can kind of get away. Okay, the Bible illustrated background comment. Baker illustrated Bible background commentary is good too. Baker illustrated Bible background commentary. Pretty good. PT, in the groove, feeling the flow. I am. It's feeling good. Risen says, I'm still fairly new to Logos. These notes documents, are they shareable? Would you like a copy of these notes when I'm done? Is that your idea, Risen? You can share them. You have to go to share. I believe there's a share function in here. It was, LOL. Well, what I could maybe do, I don't know how to like host it somewhere. I kind of want to like host them on a, one of those like download pages, and then I could link you to it, but I don't know how to host it somewhere. They're real easy to export. That's what I've found. If you go to this print export button, you can like export them to Microsoft Word. So I could easily pull them out into like a Microsoft Word document. Oh, there's the share button here, but I think I'd have to be connected to like a specific server or something to share them to you, and then give you access to it. I know there's a way to do it. I'm not skilled at doing it, Risen. I'm sorry, but I would love to give you access to it somehow. Yeah, exactly what you just said. I see a share button next to the note, but it's grayed out. And I don't know what ungrays that. I think I have to be part of a group. Share and make it public. How do I do that? CalMagic, do you know? Because I'd be happy to do so. If I make it public, can other people edit it? That's a good question before I do that. So let's keep going here. So Baker Illustrated Bible Commentary I also like. So Baker Illustrated Bible Commentary. It's a good one. And I really like the Bible Knowledge Commentary. The more I use it, it's excellent. So Bible Knowledge Commentary has got to be in there. I find I like having different sets of resources at different levels, right? You do it in the Documents tab. If so, maybe duplicate a public version. That would be great, Risen. That's a good idea. Documents tab. I mean, surely there's a way to do it. I'm not seeing it for now. Perk says, nice. I'm glad you're going to continue. It's always nice to stop by and watch some of your study sessions. I learn a thing or two at times. That's great. Well, thanks for swinging by, Perk. I appreciate it. And I hope your studies are going well, too. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that, guys, to share it with you. We'll continue to poke through it and try to figure that out as we go. Commentary critical and explanatory. Jameson Fawcett Brown. Erdman's is okay. Evangelical commentary is okay. We're not going for okay here, though. We're going for the full shebang. The IVP Bible background commentary is excellent. That goes here. And here's more of the Bible knowledge background commentary. KJV Bible, okay. Lectionary commentary, I still haven't used as much as I would like. Those are from the Berean school. I forget what it was called. Matthew Henry Concise. Matthew Henry might be worth consulting. I need to think about that one. So Moody and New Bible Commentary. New Bible Commentary is amazing. That's like almost best of class in the single volume commentary set. And Moody Bible Commentary is good too. Sounds good. Yeah, if I can figure out how to share it, guys, I definitely will. I got no problem with that. New International Bible Commentary is really good too. I don't find myself referencing this one much. And this one I haven't looked at very much. I remember I was excited to get this one, and I just haven't looked at it very much. Yeah. They're taking large pericopes here. Daniel Durkin, concise and accessible, this one-volume edition of the New Collegeville Bible Commentary, New Testament, allows readers to explore da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm not there on it. I want to say I liked the Open Bible. I liked its structure, if I recall. Had, like, good outlines, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, that's not the one I'm looking for. There was one I really remember liking, but it must not be Open Bible. It just didn't look familiar. It didn't look like the one I was thinking of. I'm not saying it was bad. Oh, I like the Outline Bible. This one's really good. It's very unique in what it offers. Yeah, these outlines are awesome. I really enjoy them. That might be a good alternative to what I have up here, because here I have the Preacher's Outline and Sermon Bible, but I might do... Let's put this as a subnote. Outline Bible instead, question mark. I like the Outline Bible. Just good exegetical outlines, right? Then you can figure out what to do with them. Okay. Popular commentary on the Bible. Kretzmann, no. Sherman Cecil. These ones, I picked up the whole set, but I haven't referenced them very much. This is a story of my life, right? I have all of these, but I don't see a section on... Oh, it's the Romans to Revelation section. No wonder. It's like, where's John? Well, it wouldn't be in that section now, would it? Summarized Bible. I like the Summarized Bible. I remember liking this one too. It was very, very, again, kind of unique resource. Good summaries. Yeah, I like this one. And then it also reminds me of, you know what, now I want to put like, instead of study Bibles, I almost want to put like summarizations or something like that. And here we will put Outline Bible. We will put the Summarized Bible. I really like how they summarize the chapters here. And then there's also the Big Idea. This one isn't a commentary, but it's a little preaching book that'll help you right here. Big Idea Companion for Preaching and Teaching. Yeah, this is very similar to the Summarized Bible. Big Idea Companion for Preaching and Teaching. Okay, those are very similar. Let's get back to here. Surveying, Teacher's Bible Commentary, Theology of, ... Okay, I think I'm good on these. I just had a thought. Oh, that's getting into dictionaries. Okay, this is high level where I'm at with commentaries. Don't get me wrong. I could actually add way more full commentaries, but these are the ones that really come to mind initially. These are the ones that come to mind initially. Let's just glance at some full commentaries and see like which ones I really like. Gotta have exegetical summaries in there. I could take or leave Strack and Billerbeck, to be honest. Pillar, it's hard because it's so dependent on the book you're in, but Pillar is up there for me for sure. NICNT and NICOT is really good, but it's expensive. Word Biblical Commentary is decent. I really like John Corson's application commentary, actually. That usually gives me some neat ideas I wasn't think of. I really prize my application commentaries. NIV application commentary here, the NIVAC, and this one as well. I also like David Guzik. Bruce Barton's Life Application Commentary is good. I really like Guzik. Let's see, what else here? You can see I tend to go towards the practical. I actually really like Barclay. They're called like the New Daily Study Bible or something like that. Yeah, the New Daily Study Bible. I find him very stimulating. R. Kent Hughes I enjoy very much, actually. Preaching the Word said. It might be on the short list, right? R. Kent Hughes. They're a little more expository, but I do enjoy them. Cal Magic says, Tyndale is what I suggest for friends that are looking for something solid. I realize most people aren't going into my depth, so I try to make it simple for the general church member. Absolutely, Cal Magic. And that's why Tyndale's in my top 3 recommendations here. Tyndale is just too good for what you're getting, right? Here's one I don't want to forget. The Complete Biblical Library, but it's their lexicon, I believe. I'll put it down here. Complete Biblical Library Lexicon. It's not called that, but so the Complete Biblical Library is a resource that comes with a bunch of stuff in it. Harmony of the Gospels, and that Thorolf Gilbrandt. So Harmony of the Gospels, Textual Critical Apparatus for John, has a bunch of different stuff in it. Interlinears, the translations of the text, all that type of stuff. So there's tons and tons of stuff that come with the Complete Biblical Library, and it's a big resource, and it costs a lot of money. There is one, and all of the resources are okay, except for their New Testament and Old Testament. What am I looking for? Lexicons, right here. These 2 resources right here, the New Testament Greek English Dictionary, the Old Testament Hebrew English Dictionary. New Testament and Old Testament Greek, Hebrew, English Dictionary. These resources are solid gold. The way these things work are awesome, right? So look at this. Henna. Henna is a pretty common word. I just love the balance these resources strike because they do not go too far in depth into original languages and things like that. So you're not getting nearly as in-depth a study as if you were to, reference, what's the 3rd edition? BDAG, right? But most people don't need that. So here you have Henna, conjunction, in order that, so that. Grammatical form, Henna, concordance. They give you a few verses where it's there. Consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety. He would heal them that they might accuse him. That seeing they may see and not perceive. Word studies, classical Greek. It tells you, right? Septuagint usage. It tells you. New Testament usage. It tells you. So brief articles, and I stress brief. It gets you what you need, right? Then it gives you the Strong's number, the page number in BDAG 2nd edition. These links don't work because I don't have BDAG 2nd edition. They used to sell BDAG 2nd edition. I thought I was so smart. I don't need BDAG 2nd edition. Why? Because I have 3rd edition. 3rd edition is better. Well, now these links are broken and they don't do anything, right? So, sorry, this book isn't available. Can't get it. Ugh. Kicking myself. I still have a couple, though, like Kittle links, Liddell Scott links, etc., right? But anyway, I'm so kicking myself that I don't have 2nd edition BDAG. It wasn't even BDAG then. It was BGAD, right? Anyway, I'm digressing. But I love this little resource here. This New Testament Greek English Dictionary and the Old Testament Hebrew English Dictionary is really good too. Look at these. It comes with concordance and it references a bunch of the verses for you, tells you where to look to find it, even if you don't, know those original languages at all. And then common Hebrew verb, meaning to gather or collect, occurs nearly 200 times. These are so good, these statements here. Ruth illustrates the basic usage of the gathering of the harvest land. This is it hits right at the level you want if you're a regular preacher or teacher. What is that? Darns. I love that. That's awesome. So these are, I don't know if you can buy these separate. The New Testament Greek English Dictionary and the Old Testament Hebrew English Dictionary. I don't know if you can buy them separate, but when I was reviewing the Complete Biblical Library resources, I was underwhelmed at first until I ran into those dictionaries, and I was like, these dictionaries are fantastic. Anyway, I'm digressing. All right, let's keep going on single or on full commentary sets. There's Tyndale, excellent. I like the EBC. I don't know how high it ranks for me, though. Man, I need to think about that one. The NIB I like as well, although it can tend to be a little bit liberal at times. The EGGNT is good. It's a little more in-depth than most people need, but I'm going to put it because it's probably about the only in-depth exegetical resource that I would reference regularly. So EGGNT, question mark. I can get behind BECNT. Through the ZECNT I like as well. Oh, I like all of these. Again, I love collations. So you have the ACCS, ACT, ACT. This one is, what's this one called? The Ancient Christian Texts series. So that one's good. Also, this one, the Church's Bible, I think is what it's called. The Church's Bible. Yep, this one's pretty good. Hilary of Poitiers, John Chrysostom, Augustine of Hippo. So, the Church's Bible. And then the Catena Aurea, I want to say this was put together by Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas. So the Catena Aurea, and that's a older one, so I bet it's cheaper. Those are all good collations of early church fathers. Okay, I would need to refine my list here more, but I think I hit the high points for myself. I might put Matthew Henry under my single volume. I really like Matthew Henry. That's probably where I'd leave it for now. There's Embarrassment of Riches. Oh, I love McLaren's sermons. Expositions of Holy Scripture, McLaren. I'm not sure where I'd put it. Let's put it down here. Okay. That's a good start on commentaries. Look, we could do commentaries all day. Let's go dictionaries and encyclopedias now. So first, let's go to my prioritized. So IVP pocket dictionaries. I love the pocket dictionaries. And I think they're, yeah. Like the, I really like the pocket dictionary of, I thought there was one. Yeah, that one's for Hebrew. I thought there was a Greek one as well. Right there, New Testament Greek. I really like the pocket dictionaries. This one's good. IVP pocket dictionaries, especially Hebrew and Greek. Those are good. And they're so quick and easy to reference. Cal Magic, who is your target audience for this list? Seems to have long passed the too many books, not enough time test. No, I definitely agree. I'm meaning it to be somewhat exhaustive, Cal Magic, and then I'm going to try and narrow it down from there, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to get into this is everything I would recommend, period. And then, like, how could I narrow it down from here to refine for my audience, right? So I guess this is meant to be the master list, that I boil things down from. If I get this list correct, I should probably not have to go outside of it, if that makes sense. So I like the pocket dictionaries. Let's go into Encyclopedia Ancient Christianity, Erdman's Encyclopedia, Baker Illustrated, New Dictionary Biblical Theology, I really like. And I also like the New Dictionary of Biblical Imagery. Dictionary of Biblical Imagery. Now, I didn't know Zondervan had its own. I always reference the purple one. Oh, I haven't referenced this one by John Beck very much. Interesting. I really like this purple one, but I haven't referenced this one very much. Man, it's amazing how much time can fly while I'm doing research. I just love researching. That's what I've found. I had a previous pastor of mine. We were in a little small group going through and talking about our spiritual gifts. Oh yeah, Dictionary of Deities and Demons. That's a good one. That is like a one of its kind resource. That's a good one. Thank you, Cal Magic. We were all doing our spiritual gifts. And so we would go in a circle and we talk about our spiritual gifts, all that type of stuff. And I kind of sheepishly said, I have the gift of teaching, right? It always feels a little weird to kind of stand up and say you have the gift of teaching. And my pastor corrected me. He said, you don't have the gift of teaching, you have the gift of study. And I was like, the gift of study? He goes, yes, you have the gift of study, and then you like to share or teach what you have learned in your studies. And I thought that was actually pretty helpful because I hadn't thought of it that way before, but once he said it, it made a lot of sense for me, right? So yeah, that's an interesting one as well. Okay, let's do this. I've hit the high points on my dictionaries. Let's hit up Factbook, because Factbook will return dictionaries, right? And what I want to do here is go with, let's just type in random topics, right? So what's one that would hit a lot of dictionaries? Probably something like, I'm trying to think of like James the Lesser or something like that, because there's a lot of different James. No. Let me think of something different. Let's do a city, Tyre. Surely Tyre is going to hit a lot of Bible dictionaries. So we have the Encyclopedia Ancient Christianity. I like this one. I'm not sure it's worth how much it costs. The New Bible Dictionary I like. New Bible Dictionary. I like that one. Factbook. Zondervan's New International Bible Dictionary. Baker Illustrated Bible Dictionary. And you don't need all of these. Baker Illustrated Bible Dictionary. But again, I would draw on a handful, right? Perk says, speaking of gifts, may I ask something, Pastor? It's about Jesus' story about the servants and the talents given to them. Yeah, go for it, Perk. I'm all ears. Hit me with it. And I like these ones. New Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible. ISBE is always kind of a shoe-in for conservatives. Maybe the older edition. just so you can get a little more bang for your buck on it. Let's close these for now. Just taking up space. Here we go. Wycliffe I like, but sometimes I find it lacking. It's kind of weird. Sometimes it's good, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish this one were better. So I'm washy on the Wycliffe. Sometimes I find these other ones like good. These I'll call them cheap ones, like Easton's and stuff. They're just older and in general, more dated, but sometimes they have good stuff in them for sure. Perk, what do you think the story is about, and could you exemplify it in a modern context? Yeah. So Perk asked about the parable of the talents. And the parable in brief is that the master had 3 servants, and he gave each of the servants some talents to steward while he was gone. So he gave some 10 talents, some 5 talents, some 1 talent. And they went and were supposed to see what they could do with it. So the guy who had 10 talents turned it into 10 more. The master comes back and says, well done, good and faithful servant. Since you were, successful over 10 talents, I'll give you 10 more, right? Or I'll give you 10 cities to rule over, right? And then the other one does 5, and then he says, I'll give you 5 cities to rule over. And the other one says, I didn't do anything with your talents you gave me. I buried it in the ground because I knew you're a cruel, harsh man, reaping what you did not sow. And then he says, if you knew I reaped what I didn't sow, you should have put my talent in the bank, and at least I would have come back and earned it with interest. But because you chose to bury it in the ground, I'll cast you into outer darkness, right? And oftentimes this parable is used to talk about talents themselves, right? Like it's fitting that a talent during its day and age was money. And so a lot of times they associated it with like skills, right? Like God gives you certain skills and abilities. And the question is, did you steward your skills and abilities well? And they call that talents. I think that's an application of it. Whether it's money or anything else, I think roughly the parable is about God has given us a life to live, and he has given us a certain life situation or condition in which to live it. So some of us have more money than others. Some of us have more skills than others. Some of us have higher IQ than others. Some of us have more physical ability than others, etc. Everybody kind of has their own gifts, right? And what I think Jesus is indicating is that we're supposed to use our gifts for God and his kingdom. And that if we choose not to use our gifts for God and his kingdom, then it's a failure of stewardship, right? That we're not actually stewarding those things well. So, for example, let's say you're born in a silver spoon in your mouth. You happen to have lots of money. Your parents have lots of money, etc. Having lots of money is not bad. Having a large inheritance is not bad. Having a lot of money from your parents is not bad. The question is, how are you going to steward it? If you use that money to just party your whole life and live a hedonistic lifestyle, to me, that's not stewarding your talents well. Instead, if you use that money to build something, to make something, to press the advantage you've been given to make a difference in the world, especially for God and his kingdom, then God honors that and blesses that, right? But he knows the situation you find yourself in. So he's not going to hold somebody with all that money to the same standard as somebody who has nothing. That person with nothing, they might not be able to build something as big and grand, et cetera, because of their life's position, but they might be able to humbly, offer what they can to God, given what he's given them. And so to me, that parable is all about stewardship. And are you stewarding the resources God has given you in life well? Right. And I think of that also as talents. I've shared this many times with people in my church. I don't think it would come as any surprise. I don't have to be a pastor. It was never my life's mission, dream, goal to be a pastor. I never looked at that as like a high and lofty status that I wanted to achieve. Instead, what happened is over time, I found myself consistently being bothered by the preaching and teaching I was hearing in the church, by the level of teaching that was coming from the pulpit. And to me, I was thinking to myself, well, if I think I could do a better job, why don't I put myself in that position? And so I started to get my MDiv partially because I thought I had something to offer the church that was better than what I was hearing on a week in, week out basis. And so that's part of why I became a pastor. And, a lot of people ask, well, is that like a calling or is that an obligation? I don't know. I'm trying to steward my talents well. God has given me talents. I could use them selfishly on myself, or I could use them for him and his kingdom. I think I'm going to try to use them for him and his kingdom. So that, I think, is a modern day example. Not everyone's meant to be a pastor preacher, right? But everybody does have something from God that they can use for his kingdom, his purposes, right? So that's kind of what I'd say about that perk. What do you think? All right. Going back here. Yeah, looking at these other dictionaries. I mean, Lexham Bible Dictionary is good. There's no doubt about that. And there's other good ones here too. But I think I've got plenty here. That we can move on. Another one I thought of. Oh, theology dictionaries and encyclopedias. So instead of typing tire in here, let's type in Trinity. Let's see if we get different dictionaries. New Dictionary of Theology is good. New Bible Dictionary we already referenced. Oh, there's two New Dictionary of Theologies, and I remember liking both of them. Perk says, I see. So basically the story is about using what skills and boons we have to serve God, right? Yes, that's how I take it. Let's ask Logos. I'm not above, being told we have extensive resources. So what is the parable of the talents about? All right. The parable of talents found in Matthew 25:14-30 is a story Jesus told about a master who entrusts his wealth to three servants before going on a journey. The master gives 5 talents to one servant, 2 to another, 1 to the third, according to their abilities. Upon the master's return, the first servant have doubled their portions through work and trade, while the third buried his talent. The master praises the first 2 servants for their faithfulness and rewards them, but harshly criticizes the third servant for his laziness, taking away his talent and casting him out. The parable emphasizes the importance of faithfulness, diligent work, and prudent planning while awaiting Christ's return. Some interpret the talents as representing various resources entrusted by God to his followers, such as abilities, spiritual gifts, or opportunities for service. However, it's important to note that the parable should not be read as a literal description of heavenly rewards or God's attributes, as parables use symbolic language to convey broader spiritual truths. So that's basically what I said. In fact, I said it better. So, done. What do you guys think about that? Burke says, I've seen a preacher say that it's about monetary multiplication, using our finances for good, maybe as a tithe or as a donation to organizations that spread the word of God. I think that's a partial application of it. I do not think that is the whole application of it, nor do I think that's the primary application of it. So I hear you on that, and I guess I hear that preacher, but I'm a little suspect. Ooh, the Theological Word Book. I don't know where it goes, but Theological Word Book of Old Testament, I think it is. This might be the wrong one, but yeah, this is the wrong one. TWOT is a great resource. I really like, from Moody. Is this it? This might be it. Yeah, Moody Press. It was unavailable for a long time, but now it's available. We got to put that in Old Testament studies. I'm not Perk. And in fact, I was making an even bolder claim because this synopsis is summarizing 4 resources, right? So I'm actually saying that I put it better than all of these. Vickers, MacArthur, etc. But of course they're just summarizations. So that is funny though. Okay, Theological Word Book Old Testament is good. Do I have anything more on... Man, there's so many dictionaries. I did not realize. Probably best to have a broadly hitting one then. Perk, yeah, it's unfortunate, but any mention of money always puts people on alert mode. Feels like any talk about money needs to be dealt carefully, almost like walking on eggshells. I completely understand what you're saying there, Perk, and I don't disagree. You got to be very careful with that. Okay. The last one, and I'll probably end here. Well, not the last one. Let's do so let's do sets. For some reason, I really like the Zondervan Counterpoint series collections, the Spectrum Multiview collections. I just really love getting a lot of different perspectives on different ideas. So let's go 4 views. So these are these books I'm talking about. So what set does this come from? Revelation 4 Views, a Parallel Commentary. Well, that's a commentary. That's not what I'm looking for. But these ones are from Zondervan, and they're the Zondervan Counterpoint series, exploring theology. Really like them. And then these ones I think are Spectrum, and they're called the Spectrum Multiview books. Yeah, Spectrum Multiview books, and I like them a lot. Now, there's one other type of these books. Might be these ones, Christian Ethics 4 Views. No, it's a Spectrum Multiview. So those are the 2 primary ones, but I like almost any book that presents multiple views. So this is just a Baker Academic one-off, so it doesn't count. But I want to see, maybe it's these ones, although that might be a Spectrum one as well. No, they're the Kregel Academic. Using the popular 4 views format. Is there a set of these? Perk makes me wonder if churches should be aiming for being huge and heavily populated. But anyway, thanks for answering my question, Pastor. I appreciate your insight on the matter. Yes, absolutely. Well, and facts are, when a church gets too large, it can definitely have a tendency to be hard to pastor people, right? Like that just becomes difficult. So, yeah, I kind of wonder about getting too big as well. It's a concern I have. Let's type in Kregel views, and I'm just looking if they have like a set. Yeah, they have multiple. So it's the Kregel Academics Viewpoint series. There's only 3 volumes. Academics Viewpoint series. Let's look to see if there's more of these, because these are some of my favorite books in general. If I was to recommend something to somebody, so those are, you can tell the covers now. So these ones are the Spectrum Multiview books. These ones here are the Counterpoints books. Counterpoints, Spectrum, Counterpoints. This one's different. I do think it's still a Zondervan one, though. Yeah, Zondervan Counterpoints, just different cover. Spectrum, Zondervan. Is this another one? IVP Academic, Science and Christianity, 4 Views. Let's go. I'll type in IVP Views. Let's see. See if they have multiple of them. Yeah, there are several on this one. Where's the set? Give me the set. No, a lot of these are coming from Spectrum Multiviews as well. Huh. Well, darn. I might have found all the ones I'm supposed to find. Let's look for a little bit longer, but I feel like churches should be small enough so the pastor can be well acquainted with his people and actually able to know them in a more personal level, maybe like a friend. To me, that's a bit much. Like, if you're going to do that, your church probably needs to be 100 people or less. I don't think you could get much beyond 100 people if you have that solo pastor kind of model. And don't get me wrong, that is a viable model. We're going a different direction in our church right now, and it's because we're seeing the exact need that you're talking about, and we think that having a plurality of elders will help with that. B&H Academic. Let's see if they have them. B&H Views. Yes. Now, where's the set? Yeah, these ones are called Perspectives on this, Perspectives on that. So there's a 4-volume called the Perspectives series. Well, I'll put that one in and see. B&H Academic. Okay, that's probably going to exhaust our 4 Views series. Yeah, that's pretty good on that one. The harmonization kind of books. Parker, like that one saying goes, a person with too many friends has no friends, but if he has few, he has true friends. Right, and there's some truth to that as well. You almost need to do what Jesus did. Jesus had an inner circle of just 3, and then he had his disciples of 12, and then he had a broader community of everyone that was following him. So you almost have to have like a tiered system. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. And then one-offs. Let's look at one-offs. Oh, I like the Oxford Handbook collection as well. Now, for one-offs, I like the Beale's Handbook on New Testament use of Old Testament. And I also like David Dorsey's Literary Structure of the Old Testament. It's about the only resource like it. And then I'm wondering if I could take or leave Michael Lawrence's Biblical Theology. I really liked it when I read it. Yeah, I think I'd be okay to skip it at this point. Okay, that kind of summarizes my one-offs. All right, that's in good shape. Guys, I think that I might call it there. How much time we've been streaming? Over an hour and a half. So this is about longer than I typically stream. Like I said, this is I'm trying to create an exhaustive list of each category. It's not something that you have to like Cal Magic said, it's too many books for any one person to reference, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to make it exhaustive so then I could narrow down and say, these are some of my recommendations in each of the categories, right? So I really like the direction I've gone thus far. And obviously there's lots more work I could do, but this kind of gives me a good high level of what I would look for in a set. Perk says, yeah, but never mind me. Thanks for your time and insight, Pastor. I'll let you get back to it. No problem, Perk. I'm just going to take off because I've been streaming longer than I typically do. So anyway, hopefully you guys found this one interesting. Like I said, I really enjoy working through these. I love study. I love research. And so I've just poked through resources for years and years now, and I have different ideas of what I like and resources I keep coming back to. And obviously there's many more that could be listed. I didn't fill in my Hebrew and Greek lexicons, for example. I think most people don't need something as robust as BDAG or anything like that. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to those resources, and I reference them myself. But anyway, if you're interested in this list, I know Risen and Cal Magic, maybe reach out to me on the Discord server. If you reach out to me on the Discord server, I can just probably DM you the document, and that would probably be the easiest way to do it, right? So yeah, thanks, Perk. Appreciate it. But anyway, thanks so much for your guys' time, effort, energy, attention, and I appreciate you all very much. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. We'll see you all again real soon. Take care. God bless.